What's up, guys? This is Lowe's Car 50. So recently I received a package from Bassani. I ordered the pipes for my catback, which is on this car. The car came with a 2.5-inch stainless steel Bassani catback, but a while back I backed up into a curb, unfortunately, which I dented my pipes. Let me see if I can get under the car and show you. Yep, there they are. One dent and the other one right there. So I'm kind of picky about this kind of stuff. So for the longest time ever, I tried to get a used set of pipes and I just had no luck. So I found out that Bassani can piece out parts, so they sold me the pipes separately, which came out to be a lot cheaper than trying to buy a whole new exhaust system. So anyways, I decided to buy them, but the next step for me before I put them on the car will be to polish the pipes. Okay, so fast forwarding to the very next week, I ended up using the method with the bronze wool, and this is how it turned out, which doesn't look bad at all. Looks really good. But I decided, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it right the first time, even if it takes a little bit more work, a little more time. Because if you can see, there's still like lines, like visible lines on the pipes, like some dark shaded lines and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do the whole polishing method with all the different grits of sandpaper and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take my time, but this is how it looks like if you just want to use the bronze wool, which I have right here. I have the medium grip, the medium weight as well. Here's the medium, so I use the medium, coarse, and the fine. And then I use the Mother's mag and polish to give it a final shine. So this is the outcome. If you guys are not really too picky and just want to have your pipes looking pretty good, somewhat shiny, not mirror finish as of course, but looking something like this, then I highly recommend this method. Pretty simple, pretty fast to do. I learned this from Justin SVT on YouTube. You can see a pretty good video of his on how he did it. But I'm going to go with the actual polishing method with all the grits of sandpaper instead, just to get that more of a show shine. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to start with the 120 grit. That'll be the base grit to really get off a lot of these scuffs and lines and marks on these pipes. And yeah, it's definitely the first step. Either 100 grit or 120 would be fine. So this is what I'm going to start out with. And I'm going to go again with the flow, kind of like when they say go with the grain of the wood. Well, I'm going to go with the flow of the pipe. You can see the lines just all going down, make it all one linear motion, just following this path right here. So, a little update between the first run. I had to drop down to an 80 grit sandpaper because these Bassani pipes have some really deep lines. Like, it's hard to see in the video, but you can kind of see right there, all those little scratches right here. Because the 120 wasn't really getting them out, especially right here at the bend. I'm not sure how they do it at Bassani, but there's like really big deep creases. So I had to drop down to 80 grit to try to take it all out. Also, there's some really deep parts. Let's see if I can find them. So like there's like these deep lines, especially right here. It's really hard to see. Yeah, right there. It's really hard to see, but I dropped down to the 80 to try to get this stuff out, as well as these kind of lines right here. I'm not too worried about the top portion of the exhaust. I'm only worried about like mainly the back side and the bottom, whereas like you're gonna see it the most coming out from the back. But yeah, if you can't get it out with an 80 grit, you're never gonna get it out with like
the last finishing grits, which is like the 2000 or 2500 grit sandpaper. So I went back to the 80 grit just as a little update for those of you, if you encounter the same issue, just be patient, keep working at it. Go down to 80 because prep is always the most important step. So the smaller numbers for the grit sandpapers, like the 80, 120, 220, those are what are going to make the biggest difference. So yeah, just be patient, keep on working at it. See, like right here, I gotta try to take some of that out too, but again, I'm not too worried about it because you won't see this from the back of the car. So yeah, it's a little update. Okay, so now I just finished up using the 80 grit and then the 120 grit, and this is the final look. So remember, I'm focusing mainly on the portion of the pipes where you can see from behind the car. So it's like this. So I took off as best as I could a lot of the lines, like a lot of the intrusions that the pipe has, just the best I could. And next is going to be wet sanding. All right, so now we're going to start with the wet sanding with the 220 grit. I already got the sandpaper wet, and now we're going to just work our way through. Alrighty, now so now we're going to go on to the 320 grit. I got my sandpaper wet, and let's get at it. Now time for that 400 grit, and after the 400 I'm gonna hit it with the 600. Starting to kind of shine up after that 320. As you can see, it might be hard to see on the camera, but there's still several little lines in here. The best way to get that out was with the 80 grit that I used in the beginning, but I mean, I tried the best I could, and it's just really hard to get it off. But it doesn't really bother me because it's like right here, right like in the middle of the bend. So I think it'll look pretty good once we're all done, but we'll find out. But in the meantime, we're gonna hit it with that 400. Okay, so that was that for the 400 grit. Now I'm gonna move on to the 600 grit. Just drying it up real quick. It's looking pretty good actually so far. Yep. Time for that 600. Moving on to the 1000 grit. All right, so we're moving on to the 1500 grit. This is that super fine stuff. This is the second to last grit I'm going to be using. So I finished up with the 1000, and I think it looked pretty decent, just like that. It looked really good actually. I mean, yeah, there's some imperfections as you get real close, but I mean, it's honestly, it's not that bad, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far. But with that 1500 and then a 2000 grit, and then top it all off with the Mother's Mag and aluminum polish with the microfiber towel, these should look really awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to those last two grits, and here we go. Finally, on the very last sandpaper that I'm going to be using, which is a 2000 grit. The pipe, I don't know, it's looking pretty good. It probably could look better, but once I polish it up, it should be awesome. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to move to the very last step, which is this right here, the Mother's Mag and aluminum polish with a fresh brand new microfiber towel. This should be what will make these pipes really stand out. As you can see, it look really decent. And then once I polish this one up, we'll compare it to that one, which, remember guys, that one has already been pre-polished with the bronze wool. So it won't be a direct comparison from like right out the box to a freshly polished pipe. But it should still look better, I think. But we'll find out once I get this done. Look at all that. I might give it like a good 2 passes, and then we'll come back and see how it looks like when it's all done. Just look at that, guys. It's looking amazing. I didn't think it'd look that good. Wow. So just as a comparison, I don't know why on the GoPro both pipes look super shiny, but definitely the right hand one is a polished one. So again, I didn't focus too much right here where the connect, because the tailpipes go right here. But besides that, look at that. Now versus the pipe that isn't polished, you can see a big difference on with the left one. It has a lot of lines. So yeah, there we go, guys.
Okay, so after a lot of hard work and dedication to polishing these pipes, this is the official finished product. I got both of them polished up. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to focus mainly on the parts where they're going to be seen from behind the car, which is this area up to right there, that pipe, and around that little bend. But overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, it's not a perfect job. But I much rather, I prefer this look over the bronze wool polishing method. I know it's more time consuming and more steps to the process and all that, but I definitely think it's really rewarding and it pays off. So as a reference, just to show you how it looked like before, right out the box, brand new, I'm fixing to pull off this sleeve right here. And there you go. That's like the raw stainless T304 material, and you can see it has a bunch of these lines, dark shades of lines and stuff, and that's what I really wanted to focus on getting out. So that compared to that, you just can't beat it. I absolutely love it. So I'm not quite yet gonna put these on the car because I have some really awesome parts coming in. I got some American Racing headers. That is right, we're gonna get some long tubes for the 10th anniversary Cobra, and I just can't wait to open up that sound. But in the meantime, till those come in, I'm gonna wait on putting these on. So I'll just put everything on all at once, since I'm gonna have to take off the cat back and all that kind of stuff anyways. So that's it, guys. So just stay tuned for how these will look in the next video on the car, and obviously that beastly sound that this car is going to be producing once I get those long tube headers on with the Bassani, the current Bassani 2.5 inch stainless steel catback system. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and comment, and stay tuned for more to come. Los Car 50 out.